Hello everyone, welcome back to Algebra 1. Today we're going to be talking about solving simple equations. So in this first video we're just going to be talking about some properties. So for this first one I'm going to tell which property this statement illustrates. So for this first one, 2 plus 4 is equal to 4 plus 2. That represents the commutative property. This next one, where the numbers are in the same order, but we're just changing where the parentheses are, is called the associative property. This next one, 8 plus 0 is equal to 8, is called additive identity. This next one, that 7 times 1/7 is equal to 1, is the multiplicative identity. This next one, 4 times 0 equals 0, is 0 property. And this last one, where you do 12 times a plus 3 is equal to 12 times a plus 12 times 3, where you're just doing that, is called the distributive property, which we'll get lots of practice with this one. Okay, now we're going to talk about some of our properties of equality. So for addition, POE, which we'll just say POE instead of properties of equality just to shorten that, is if you add, basically it's saying if you add a number to one side and you add the same number to the other side of the equation, it's going to be equivalent. So like for instance, if A equals B, then A plus C is equal to B plus C. So an example of that, if I were to put numbers, if 3 equals 3, well, that means if I add 5 to both sides, it's still going to be equal to each other, because then I'll get 8 equals 8. And so we see that same thing with subtraction POE. We can subtract the same number from both sides of the equation. And then same thing with multiplication division. So if A equals B, then A times C is equal to B times C. And if A equals B, then A divided by C is equal to B divided by C. So I can add, subtract, multiply, and divide the same number on both sides of the equation, and it will still be equivalent. And then this last one we already kind of saw, but if we're multiplying a number by a group of numbers added or subtracted together, is the same as doing each multiplication separately. So all it's saying is if I have A times this quantity B plus C, I can go ahead and distribute that A and multiply it with both. So this is going to be equal to A times B plus A times C. So these properties are going to be important to remember for our next video, where we will be justifying our steps in solving an equation. So you can go ahead and move on to that next video.